I like Meegah Mem. And yes, you heard that correctly, Meegah Mem. Not to be confused with Mega Man, one of the most amazing video game franchises of all time that I've made tons of videos on. I love that game too, but I also like the hit fan game Meegah Mem. This is one of the most unique and creative fan games of all time. The art style is amazing and has a unique charm that no other video game has ever been able to capture. The soundtrack is so incredible that it later inspired the soundtrack behind the hit YouTube series Underpants by Sir Palo. And the gameplay is, well, we'll have to talk about that later. There we go. Okay, we actually got that was the whole stage. Now, some of you more experienced gamers out there may have heard of the sequel to this game, Meegah Mem 2, but we'll have to talk about that in another video because we are here to focus on the roots of the Meegah Mem series with Meegah Mem 1. The first thing you'll probably notice about this game, other than the art style, is the title, Meegah Mem. That's a pretty funny way to say Mega Man, right? Well, it doesn't stop there. Every word in this game is funny like that, so if you're a unique and quirky individual, this game's spelling mistakes are going to be right up your alley. Joking aside though, this is a silly Mega Man fan game that I actually do enjoy despite its many flaws. One thing I really unironically do enjoy about this game is surprisingly the level design. Every stage is basically a very good parody of its Mega Man 1 NES counterparts. For example, Lect Mem stage has the first room we all remember it for, then one giant ladder going all the way up until the end of the level. That's pretty funny. Cut Mem remains the easiest stage in the entire game, just like with Mega Man 1 on the NES, and again, it's just a parody of the original stage. It's laughably easy on purpose while still containing the original elements from Cut Mem's original stage. Every stage in the game follows this trend, and this is my favorite part about it. Sure, the art style and soundtrack are funny and great, and I would appreciate the spelling too if I knew how to read, but the fact that each level even continues this same vibe while being both funny and fun to play is impressive to me, which is why it's my favorite part. Fire Mem stage has that first room, and then we have some red rectangles as obstacles instead of fire. Ice Mem stage has that first room like always, and then the first block puzzle right before the stage ends. Now, thankfully, it doesn't have that second half of Iceman's original stage because that would be awful. And Guts Mem stage, well, it's just the platforms, which is funny, but believe me, I'll talk more about Guts Mem stage in a minute. Bomb Mem stage and the Wily Castle are also going to have to be glossed over for now, for reasons I'll explain later, but just know they continue the trend. So if you enjoy silly fan games and just want to play some more Mega Man, I do highly recommend this game because it's a very quick 10 to 15 minute playthrough that I personally did have a good time with. But with the great parts of this game being talked about, we also have to address the elephant in the room. The not great parts about this game. And also, the stupid parts about this game. First of all, Meegah Mem 2 is on Steam, so that game is very easy and safe to download. If you want me to make a video on that game in the future, let me know down in the comments because that would be very easy and a lot of fun. Meegah Mem 1, on the other hand, is a sketchy exe file that I had to download off of the internet and scan like 8 times with my antivirus software. Now, it was allegedly safe, but still, I don't like using rogue exe files on my computer. I feel like that's not a thing that I should have to do. But once my antivirus missed the rootkit, one of the first things I noticed about this game, other than the art style, were the terrible controls. Now, the basic moving controls are your classic WASD. Nothing out of the ordinary, and that works fine, but jump is down on the arrow keys, and shoot is either left or right on the keyboard, I don't even remember. Ergonomically, this isn't that bad. I have both of my hands on opposite sides of the keyboard at least, so they could have been a lot worse, but this is just a weird control scheme to me. Like, why is down on the arrow keys jump? The thing that makes you go up is down. What? That doesn't even make any sense. Now, to be fair, these controls are customizable, but I wanted to play with the intended controls to get the true Meegah Mem experience. One thing you can't change about them though is the fact that using different weapons requires pressing different buttons on the keyboard instead of pausing and choosing them like a regular Mega Man game would, and while that's not really that bad, I just never ended up using any of the weapons because of that. Also, anytime you try to click back and go to the main menu to change your controls or settings or something, it just refreshes the page like Internet Explorer. which is a bit annoying because you do have to close the game to get back to the main menu, but honestly, compared to the other jank in this game, that's not really a big deal. But the main terrible part about the controls is just that they feel awful. Now, is that to be expected with a game like this? Yeah, probably, but that doesn't make it any less annoying. Choosing what stage you want to play is the same button as jump, so when your little Mega Man laser thing spawns in, more often than not, you end up jumping before you even spawn in, which is just a really funny thing and not really a problem. But I did want to mention that because I thought it was funny and I liked looking at it. What is annoying though is how momentum works in this game. Everything is a little bit slidey, sometimes you can't jump while you're running, and climbing up ladders is just odd, but I can't lie. I've played many games with much worse controls than this, so these are really just an inconvenience more than a major flaw with this game. Especially, you know, considering the general vibe with Meegah Mem. What is not cool though is how loud the death animation is. My ears. Now, I did have to lower the volume significantly for you guys' sake, but the first time I died in this game, I almost died in real life. Then, every time I died after that, I proceeded to lose more and more of my hearing. Okay, this is pretty funny, especially for you guys at home who don't have to suffer the permanent hearing damage, but the death sound is just way too loud. This is unacceptable. And when you play Guts Mem stage, the combination of terrible physics, controls, and the loud death noise is just a recipe for a disaster. What is that? Oh no. Oh. No. No. What do I do? Yeah, those platforms are the devil. The momentum and hitboxes on them are atrocious and tortured me for several minutes, which felt like weeks. This is the only point of the game where the janky controls were actually annoying and frustrating so far. The rest of the levels are simple enough to beat with jank that it doesn't really matter. But these three platforms are so ridiculously stupid that only a true Tooterp subscriber would ever be able to get past them. But if you do manage to somehow make it past, you are greeted with the hardest boss in the entire game, and boss fights are actually something I haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet. I assume the weaknesses still stand and work like the normal game, but like I said earlier, I never got a chance to try them out, so I just beat all the bosses with the plain old dude. And some of the bosses are very fun. Cutman is just like the original and super easy. Lect Mem has a hiding spot in his boss battle for some reason, and Ice Mem is literally just a one-to-one replica of Ice Man from Mega Man 1, and I honestly have no idea how they coded this battle so perfectly. But trying to figure out whether or not you landed a hit can be difficult sometimes because there is no visual indicator or sound effect to go along with the damaging of the bosses, which is extra frustrating because the sound design in this game is amazing and I would have loved to hear what it sounded like to hit a boss. On top of that, the jankiness of some of these boss battles make hitting them more of a matter of luck than skill. Of course, the jankiness does make these boss battles very funny, and most of the time it's great and I honestly don't mind at all, but like I said a second ago, Guts Man is the most difficult by far. In fact, it is the only boss battle that I did not beat on my first try, which is extra frustrating because that makes me have to restart the stage with the platforms. But Gutsman is also jank for a unique reason. Instead of going all over the screen and being difficult to hit, he just throws rocks at you like a delinquent middle schooler, with the only difference being the big rocks do a ton of damage, like way too much damage. Seriously, these big rocks do like 10 times more damage than anything else in the entire game, and I don't really understand why. This boss fight being a difficulty spike is an understatement, and having it be the hardest boss of the game just makes things even worse, especially after the hardest stage in the game. This combination of level and boss battle was by far the most frustrating thing about Meegah Mem gameplay wise because it just feels like luck and not even skill. Whether or not I actually land on that third platform never feels consistent, and if I do get lucky enough to make it to Guts Mem, he'll just destroy me most of the time with what feels like undodgeable giant rocks. Now, I know they aren't literally undodgeable, but again, with controls like this, it's just how it feels. But regardless, you definitely want to be more lucky than skillful when it comes to the stage of Guts Mem. But this is not the most frustrating part about Meegah Mem. That honor would have to go to the character select screen, and more specifically selecting Bomb Mems and Ice Mems stage. First of all, just in general, the area you have to click on to choose a stage is very ambiguous to say the least. Sometimes you have to click their name, sometimes you have to click on the bottom of their image, and to load Ice Mem stage, you have to click on Bomb Mem. Wait, this is Ice Mem. I picked Bomb Mem. What is going on? I'm not sure why this was designed with a cursor and actually clicking the stage instead of how it was made in the Mega Man games, but I hate this a lot. And with Ice Mem stage being under Bomb Mem, you're probably wondering how you choose Bomb Mem stage, and well, I have no idea. How do I pick Bomb Man though? Because this is just Iceman. I don't want to keep playing this stage. I even tried saving the game and reloading it, which is a cool feature of this game, albeit a little bit sketchy considering this is still a random exe on the internet making files on my computer. But I could not for the life of me get Bomb Mem stage to load in, and I tried clicking everywhere on the screen. I've seen other people who've played this game run into the same issue too, so I know I'm not alone, but I've also seen 2 speedruns of this game where they are able to choose Bomb Mem stage, so I have no idea what the deal is here. If any of you guys are Meegah Mem experts, please let me know in the comments because I want to play Bomb Mem stage and the Dr. Wily Castle for myself since I never got the chance to. After seeing the speedrun though, I at least got to see gameplay though, and Bomb Mem stage looks fun from what I can tell. It still follows the fun, silly, janky parody stage design as the other stages. But Dr. Wily's Castle honestly worries me a lot. First of all, you have to go through not only a ton of jank platforms just like in Guts Mem stage, which surely has got to be a nightmare, but you also have to deal with some disappearing blocks, which is not fun while using these controls, believe me. There were some easy disappearing blocks in Ice Mem stage, but those were only easy because there were not spikes underneath you. But anyway, right after what I would already consider to be a difficult gauntlet that tests your might, you have to fight the Yellow Devil. At least I assume you have to fight the Yellow Devil. In the speedruns, they just skip this, it looks like, but surely there's a pretty difficult battle here that's at least intended to happen, but I don't know. Anyway, regardless, now you have to refight all of the Robot Masters, which of course is par for the course when it comes to the Mega Man series and its fan games, but this also means you have to refight Guts Mem. And on top of that, this entire stage seems to only be 1 life, so if you game over, you have to restart back at the beginning with the platforms, and you guys saw how much I struggled with just Guts Mem stage, so I might have gone permanently deaf from the death animation sound if I did manage to get here, so maybe it was a blessing that Bomb Mem stage is inaccessible. Anyway, using the actual weapon abilities here would probably make things a lot easier because even after you do the refights, you still have to defeat Dr. Wowie, which from what I can tell does look easy, but the only footage of this I found online was from the world record speed run, so of course it looks easy. Then you get some amazing credits, and that's Meegah Mem. Again, I wish I was able to play Bomb Mem stage and that ending for myself, but the game literally does not let me, and I am not the only one with this problem, so as far as I know, there isn't really anything I can do. And I'm not downloading any more sketchy exe files that might be from a working version because I've already tested my luck enough, and honestly, this probably is a virus. It's probably not a virus. If you do want to download it, I'm joking, but still, I don't trust exe files, and rightly so. But from what I did get to play with Meegah Mem, I can tell that this game, while silly and meant to be a meme, does have a decent amount of work put into it by a true Mega Man fan. I mean, not as much work as like, you know, every other fan game, but still, you know what I mean. As goofy and unserious as this game is, it's a great parody of Mega Man that only a true fan will be able to actually make into a fully fledged game. Okay, maybe fully fledged is a stretch considering I couldn't even play all of the levels, but again, you know what I mean. I like this game though. Is it my favorite Mega Man fan game? No, but I do need to start making more videos on Mega Man fan games in general if you guys would be interested in that. I feel like I've seen some comments telling me to review some Mega Man fan games, and I do want to, and I do have plans to make a much more polished video on Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch in the near future, but for now, I hope this silly video on this silly game was still enjoyable. And if it was, I'll make a video on Meegah Mem 2 as well. Well, that was Meegah Mem 1. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but if you didn't, I understand. I mean, this is kind of a silly video, but I don't forgive you. I understand, but I do not forgive you.